The world is full of secrets. Things they don't want us to know. Things we can't know.
1,503 innocent passengers died on one fatal night aboard the ironically titled Unsinkable Ship from an iceberg that sunk the 52,310-ton metal beast, never to see daylight again.
Scientists were horrified to find that the world-famous RMS Titanic met a fate of 600 kilometers below the sea level. However, some evidence might say otherwise, and has turned the public opinion upside down.
Is there a chance that the Titanic was destined to happen all along? Could there be a deeper meaning behind the classic tragedy in 1912?
I'm your host Finn.
And I'm co-host Will.
And welcome to the unknown.
Over the years, the infamous case of the Titanic has been dissected in great detail by many historians and theorists, and is still talked about today, 107 years later.
Although historians of the same time assumed that an iceberg was responsible for the sinking due to the geographical location, many modern-day theorists question if there is something we were missing, and if an iceberg didn't actually sink the ship, or even if the sinking was planned all along.
In the book Titanic, the Ship That Never Sank, the author Robin Gardner wrote that the entire disaster was the result of an insurance scam by the International Mercantile Marine Corporation, which owned the White Star Line.
The Olympic and the Titanic were both White Star Line vessels owned by millionaire banker J.P. Morgan. This theory states that Morgan deliberately planned the sinking to kill off his rivals, who were all aboard that very night.
This conspiracy is widely popular because of the proof that Morgan changed his mind about boarding shortly before the Titanic's departure. It is speculated that the line fixed the Olympic and disguised it as the Titanic. More on that later.
This means that the company could collect the insurance payment when it sank, by allowing the wounded ship to continue under a false identity.
The speculation begins like this. While sailing from Southampton, England to New York in September 1911, the Olympic was damaged and had to return for repair to the shipping yard of Harland and Wolff in Belfast.
The company was repairing the Olympic and sailed back and forth to New York. In March 1912, a few weeks before the Titanic set sail, he returned to Belfast for more repairs.
This gave Morgan an excuse to not set sail on the Titanic, giving him the perfect opportunity to kill his rivals, once and for all.
However, once you dive deeper into the information, the assumption starts to fall apart. For one, it doesn't explain how he caused the ship to hit an iceberg, and why he wanted to kill 1,500 people instead of just the 3 he intended in the first place.
This is why we believe that J.P. Morgan, while intending to kill off his rivals, did not expect the sinking of the Titanic to occur. It is known that the iceberg was unknown to the crew, so how could he have known? It would be almost impossible to predict the sinking when even the own crew members were not aware of the iceberg.
Another popular myth is that the Titanic itself never actually sank, but was replaced with the Olympic before the incident occurred.
While some supporting claims to the theory involve the Titanic's insurance being increased 5 days before sailing, and that switch would keep the company operational regardless of insurance.
The Titanic was not open for the press and for public inspections, as well as notable differences in the features of the ship, such as discoloured plating on the ship, and the fact that the RMS Olympic was written on all the lifeboats.
The RMS Olympic showed definite signs of being switched with the Titanic. What we have listed are very few in the seemingly endless list that other conspiracy theorists have created.
So what do you think? Was it all a hoax? Insurance scam? Sabotage?
One of the crew members has leaked some very good evidence of all those possibilities. James Fenton, aka Paddy the Pig, leaked a huge amount of information to the Northern Star. These include rumours he heard of a Titanic switch among some notable figures upon the Titanic.
The remaining crew were detained overnight and forced to accept a pledge below the Official Secrets Act, promising to keep the real events of the night of April 14, 15, 19, 12 a secret forever.
So what went down? Was the event hidden or covered up? What was the motive? Why was the whole thing faked? And was it even faked at all?
All we know is that something is not right. It doesn't add up. Is it possible that what we previously know about the Titanic is fake?
Would JP Morgan really do such a thing? Was it his fault or his actions that inconsequentially led to the death of 15,003 men and women? Now that's a conspiracy.